With the help of assistive technology, a man from Wolverhampton who lost his voice as a child has been able to speak again in his black country accent. Jack Smith, 22, had felt that the posh and boring voice that he had been previously given did not represent his roots. The new voice was created by inputting hundreds of recordings from someone with an accent similar to Mr. Smith's into a communication aid software. As a Wolverhampton Wanderers Wolves football club fan, Jack's accent has been showcased to his football team when he read out the team names at a Premier League match win. For years, Jack Smith was forced to use a posh and boring robotic standard-generated communication aid throughout his childhood after a car crash paralyzed him and robbed him of his ability to talk. But he always felt part of himself was missing and went on the BBC's The One Show to appeal for viewers to help him regain his true accent through his communication device. He appeared on the show with 3 other students who all wanted regional accents, but found few age-appropriate regional voices for their communication devices. Customizable voices are available for purchase from private companies, but can be expensive with certain options costing hundreds of pounds online. After a number of volunteers came forward, Jack chose the A man called Jack McBride, an actor and forklift truck driver was one of 5 people who auditioned. Jack Smith liked his voice the best, so the 23-year-old then attended National Star College to have it recorded. Mr. McBride recorded over 600 phrases in his own black country dialect for Jack's device. Mr. McBride said, "I had seen The One Show. We're looking for to record someone with a black country accent for a project. I applied and auditioned. It was a bit like the voice Jack, and some others listened to me talk and Jack liked my voice the most, so I got the offer to do it." I felt bad for the recording staff, as the first time the day we did it the recordings didn't work, so they had to get me back in and listen to my voice again all day. I hadn't even thought about people with communication aids losing their accents. It really made me think, and I think it's really given Jack his character. It was for a good cause, so I was happy to do it, and his family are lovely. Jack's dad called me to thank me for what I had done for his son, but it was a pleasure. Mr. Smith attends the National Star College in Cheltenham for students with disabilities with its own research and development initiatives for assistive technologies. The college has its own team of specialists who develop programs for its students. According to the National Star College's website, technologists work with a number of developers and specialist colleges to test, trial and develop a variety of equipment. Students are given access to the latest and cutting-edge technologies to trial and provide their feedback on. The National Star has also been a finalist in ATECH 4 Good Awards. Wheelchair user Jack, who now lives in Woodseeds, Staffordshire, can now speak more than 650 phrases in an accent which matches the rest of his family. Jack said, "I'm chuffed to bits with my new voice. I didn't know Jack before all of this, but he gave up his time to give me my accent. I'll be forever grateful." "Everyone loves my new voice. It's boast and it's something I've wanted for a long time, and now I sound like the rest of the family." "Thanks everyone, and a big thank you Jack for giving me his voice. If I could talk, I think this is how I would sound. I've been using the voice much more since having the new accent which represents my identity." Jack was only 7 when he lost the ability to speak and the use of his legs and left arm after he was knocked over by a taxi at a crossing in Telford in 2004. The youngster was airlifted to hospital but suffered a brain injury and has been in a wheelchair ever since. Jack is currently studying sport at the National Star College in Cheltenham, a residential college where he lives, but comes back to the Black Country at weekends to see his family. After deciding that his communication aid had a boring voice since starting college in 2016, Jack wanted his original accent back. This was made possible by fellow Black Country resident and drama graduate Jack McBride, 23, from Brierley Hill, Dudley, who spent around 7 hours recording a host of words and phrases for the speaking aid after Jack's mum Jo Smith, 49, a prison worker, said, "It's like listening to a real person rather than a computer. It's brilliant." The fact that 5 people turned up to offer their voices was just brilliant. We can't thank Jack McBride enough. Jack's dad Andy Ball added, "Jack's over the moon with his voice." When he used the device, it sounded just like our local accent. Jack uses the buttons to access the Black Country phrases. When they are in a classroom, if 6 people have communicators, you don't know who said what. We listened to a radio show, and it was 4 students speaking using communication devices, but you didn't know who was talking. Now you know it's Jack right away. He definitely has got a part of himself back. When avid Wolves fan Jack read out the teams in his new voice on Saturday, the players had to be pre-programmed into the computer with Captain Connor Cody proving the hardest to say. Andy added, with his talk box, "What a lot of people don't realize is that it's all pre-programmed, so we've had to program the whole teams." Sometimes it doesn't sound like what the player is called. Connor Cody was one of the worst. It just would not say Cody. The Portuguese players were fine, but it didn't like saying Cody. The avid Wolves fan was even able to read out the team names in his new voice at the Premier League team's 2-0 win against Cardiff on Saturday, March 2.